Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading Srimad Bhagavatam. First you need some glasses to read. Canto 4, Chapter 7, entitled The Sacrifice Performed by Daksha. And we're in text number 28. Sadasya uchu utpati advani asarana uru klesha durge antakogra vyalan vishte vishaya mriga chisha atma gehoru bharaha dvandva swabre khala mrigabaye shoka dave agya sartaha padokas te sharanda kada yati kamopasrista. Sadasya uchu. Let's see, what is the meter here? Utpadya vanyasarana ruklesha durgenta kogra. Not for it anyway. Vyalan viste vishaya mriga trishyatma gehorubara. Dvandva sva brekala mriga bayeshoka dave gyasata. Padokaste sharandakada yati kamo pasrista. Anybody has a better meter? Where's our Jitamriti? We'll know the meter. Oh, anyway, all right. Sadasya uchu utpatya dvani asrarana uruklesha durgenta kogra. Vyalan vishte vishaya mega trishyatma geho rubara. Dvandva svabrekala mriga bayeshoka davegya sarta. Padokaste sharanda dayati kamopasrista. Sadasya uchu utpatyadvanya sarana urkilesha durgenta kogra. Vyalan viste vishaya mrigo trishyatma geho rubara. Dvandva svabrekala mriga bayesoka davegya sarta. Padokaste sarandaka dayati kamopasrista. Yeah. Uruklesha Durgi.
Shokada
Ladies? Sadasya, the members of the assembly. Uchu, said. Utpatti, repeated birth and death. Advani, on the path of. Asharane, not having a place to take shelter. Uru, great. Klesha, troublesome. Durge, in the formidable fort. Antaka, termination. Ugra, ferocious. Vyala, snakes. Anvishte, being infested with. Vishaya, material happiness. Mrigatrishi, mirage. Atma, body. Geha, home. Uru, heavy. Bharaha, burden. Dvandva, dual. Swabre, holes, ditches of so-called happiness and distress. Kala, ferocious. Mriga, animals. Baye, being afraid of. Shokadave, the forest fire of lamentation. Agyasa arta, for the interest of the rascals. Pada okaha, shelter of your lotus feet. Te, unto you. Sharanada, giving shelter. Kada, when. Yati, went. Kama, Uparshrista, being afflicted by all sorts of desires. Translation: the members of the assembly addressed the Lord, O exclusive shelter for all who are situated in troubled life, in this formidable fort of conditioned existence. The time element, like a snake, is always looking for an opportunity to strike. This world is full of ditches of so-called distress and happiness. There are many ferocious animals always ready to attack. The fire of lamentation is always blazing, and the mirage of false happiness is always alluring. But one has no shelter from them. Thus foolish persons live in the cycle of birth and death, always overburdened in discharging their so-called duties. And we do not know when they will accept the shelter of your lotus feet. Translation, please repeat. The members of the assembly addressed the Lord, O exclusive shelter for all who are situated in troubled life, in this formidable fort of conditional existence. The time element like a snake, is always looking for an opportunity to strike. This world is full of ditches of so-called distress and happiness. And there are many ferocious animals always ready to attack. The fire of lamentation is always blazing. And the mirage of false happiness is always alluring. But one has no shelter from them. Thus foolish persons live in the cycle of birth and death, always overburdened in discharging their so-called duties. And we do not know when they will accept the shelter of your lotus feet. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Persons who are not in Krishna consciousness are living a very precarious life as described in this verse. But all these circumstantial conditions are due to forgetfulness of Krishna. The Krishna conscious movement is meant to give relief to all these bewildered and distressed persons. Therefore it is the greatest relief work for all human society. And the workers thereof are the greatest well-wishers, for they follow in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya, who is the greatest friend to all living entities. Sadasya utru utpatyadvan yasarana uruklesha durgainta kogra Vyalan viste vishaya mriga trishi atma geho rubara Dvandva swabre kalamriga baye soka dvaigya sartaha padoka ste sarananda kada yati kamupasristaha. The members of the assembly address the Lord, O exclusive shelter for those who are situated in troubled life. In this formidable fort of conditional existence, the time element, like a snake, is always looking for an opportunity to strike. The world is full of ditches of so-called happiness and distress, and there are many ferocious animals always ready to attack. The fire of lamentation is always blazing, and the mirage of false happiness is always luring, but one knows no shelter from them. Thus foolish persons live in the cycle of birth and death, always overburdened in discharging their so-called duties, and we do not know when they will accept the shelter of your lotus feet. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militandena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manubhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Karamayam Didati Svapadandiyam Adadanastranandan Dairidam Yache Puna Puna Srimad Rupa Padambujo Dulisyam Janma Janmani Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here in this portion of Srimad Bhagavatam, now everyone has come to their senses and they offered prayers to Lord Shiva. Then Lord Shiva, he forgave many of them. He put a goat's head on Daksha's body, and then finally Daksha started the sacrifice. Immediately Lord Vishnu appeared there. And they're so amazed. And Daksha, with tears in his eyes, he offered prayers. Then the priests also offered prayers. And now all the members of the assembly are offering their prayer. And their prayer is very frightening. Because Prabhupada, he said, especially, of course in those days it was true, now it's true for everyone. He said, you Westerners, but now it's everybody all over the world, even India. You are not afraid enough of Maya. Because now we're thinking that we're very, very advanced. Everybody has got car, everybody's got mobile phone, everybody's got so many things. Now we're very advanced. What is the use of reading these old books? This was from olden times, there's no use today. So that statement of Prabhupada now is equally relevant in India. You're not afraid enough of Maya. And here very frightening description of this world is given. What does it say? That it is troubled life. Everybody has got so many troubles and troubles. Krishna has certified this place. Dukalayam ashashvatam. Just like the manufacturer, he always puts some little description on the side of the box, of the contents of the box. So this material world, Krishna has put his description. Stamp on the side of the box. Dukalayam ashashvatam. It is filled with sorrows, dukh, and ashashvatam. Always, everything is temporary in this world. And it is what? Formidable fort. Prabhupada is so poetic. Formidable fort. Durge. Durge means fort. We're trapped. Everyone is trapped in this fort. We cannot get out. And the time element like a snake. Snake, he's always just waiting. He sits very quietly. And as soon as you come near, so somehow we're thinking that somehow we're going to escape all of the troubles of this material world. But it's just a matter of time. You will get yours. Your troubles are waiting for you. Just imagine a matter of time. He's sitting very peacefully. You're thinking going on very nicely. Oh, I did so many sins. And these devotees told I'll get some reaction. Just see, I'm living in a nice house. I have a nice car. I have a nice thing. It's all bogus. And one day, pew, some disaster is there. Big disaster is there. This world is full of ditches of so-called happiness and distress. It is so-called happiness, because even the happiness in this world, it is also miserable. We already know that it is the world is very miserable because we're working in a very miserable job. We have very miserable boss who's always bothering us to work hard and giving us less money than we want. All our co-workers are always calling us bad names and joking with us. Just like Prabhupada said, that the best way to preach is first you praise somebody 50 times. Oh, my dear sir, you're so intelligent, you're so dharmic, you're so handsome, you went to the best college, you got the best education, you have such a nice house, you have such a nice wife, you have nice children, you have a nice car. You praise him 50 times. Because nobody's talking to him like that. He's saying, oh, wow, somebody finally recognized me. What does he want? And then Prabhupada said, you say, my dear sir, you forget all this and you're about Krishna. So they're working all week long, and then the weekend comes. They hate their job, they hate their friends at the workplace, they hate their boss. It is just trouble and trouble. And the weekend comes and they so-called enjoy. And what is their enjoyment? They take some intoxication. Weekend comes, then everybody gets drunk. They go to the disco club and dance, and they get drunk, and sometimes they bomb it. In the morning they wake up with headache. Oh my God, I'll never do that again. And they do it again and again. Even their so-called enjoyment is suffering. Therefore Prabhupada says so-called. It is so-called enjoyment. I was there in LA, Prabhupada sat on the Vyasa said, everybody in this material world is suffering and enjoying. He said, no, actually everyone is suffering, but some suffering we call it suffering, and some suffering we call it enjoyment. But it is all suffering. And I was sitting there and Prabhupada gave example. He said, just like in the desert, there's caravan, so many animals are walking. And sun is very hot and only sand is there, no shelter, no tree. So sun is very hot. And all the camels there passing stool. But because there's very hot air and the sun is very hot, the top of the stool is becoming dry, whereas underneath it is still sticky. So Prabhupada said, one man is telling, oh, the top of the stool is better than the bottom. Prabhupada says he's talking about stool. I can still shut my eyes and hear Prabhupada and see his face. He's talking about stool. What is the question of good stool or bad stool? It is all stool. So we're thinking something is enjoyment, something is pleasure, but it is all that we're going to see in the next few verses. And there are many ferocious animals always ready to attack. This birth, death, disease, and old age, always looking for some way to attack. And now everybody is attacked by heart attack. All these ferocious animals just waiting to attack. And the fire of lamentation is always blazing. One heart is always burning. He's not finding the happiness that he wants in this world. And the mirage of false happiness is always alluring. This is the whole problem. Mrigatrashi, mirage. It's like one is in the desert, then he's looking for water. And the sun rays, they're making the sand very hot, so the air is being affected, so it makes some funny rhythms in the sky. And gradually it comes together and it looks like water. So one is running and running to get that water, and he gets there, it's only dry sand. So that is the position of this material world. And actually nobody here is experiencing happiness. They're only dreaming of how they'll become happy. Everybody's making plan that as soon as I get this thing, as soon as I establish a relation with this person, as soon as I get this house or I live in this place, then all my problems will be solved and I'll be very happy. Everyone's thinking like that. But as soon as we get that situation that we thought was going to, that we establish a relation with that person, or we get that place, we get that house, we live in that place, we find that it is not at all what we thought it was going to be. Just like one time I remember, somehow our temple president, he took the car to go on traveling Sankirtan, so we had to go to our regular Sankirtan spot by hitchhiking, because we had no car. Temple car was gone for traveling Sankirtan. So I don't know if you know hitchhiking, but it's very famous in America. You stick out, in old days, nowadays there's so many crazy people are there. Someone will just pick up a gun and shoot innocent children and so many crazy things. So nobody, but in the old days when I was young, we used to just stick out our thumb and somebody will stop, say, where are you going? I said, well, I'll take you this far. Okay. This we call hitchhiking. So we went down to the main street. We all split up because if a big group, nobody will stop. But one person, somebody will stop. So I put out my thumb, and this young fellow drove up. And now you'll find out how old I am. He had the latest model car, Ford Mustang. You probably never even heard of it. That's how old you. Now you know how old I am. This was the latest model car, Ford Mustang. And very shiny paint with beautiful colored racing stripes. And he had painted flames coming up from the bonnet like that. And the wind blowing in the back was painted there. Big fat wheels like this, chrome reverse wheels, the big tires like this and chrome reverse wheels. the silencer was coming with all chrome, with little holes in chrome and everything. And then they opened the door. We had shag carpet, means carpet was this thick. And bucket seats. This was something new. Now you probably don't even know what bucket seats are because that's a normal thing. But when I grew up, there was just, in the front seat, there was just one big long seat across. And then eventually they made one separate seat for driver, a separate seat for passenger. This we call bucket seat because it was just one seat and one seat, so it was called bucket seat. He had bucket seats. So then I remembered, Prabhupada said, you praise someone 50 times. So I told the young boy, I sat down, I said, oh, this nice car you got. He said, oh man, I can't wait to get rid of this car. I was very surprised. I said, I worked so hard to buy this car. I was working 2 jobs. I had to work day and night. I had no time to take my girlfriend even to the movies, And now I got this car. This was in the 70s when suddenly oil crisis came. And the price of oil was just like water. And all of a sudden it became very expensive. He said, man, now it costs so much to run this car, I still don't have any money to take my girlfriend to the movie. I can't wait to get rid of this car. So we'll never actually find any happiness in this world. We just think that we'll be happy. As soon as we make this adjustment, as soon as I get this thing, or as soon as I get this house, as soon as I live in this place, as soon as I get this situation, then I'll be happy. But as soon as we get there, somehow the happiness disappears. We get that thing, we just dream. There's no happiness here. Just it is a mrigatrisha, it's just illusion. You think you're going to be happy. As soon as you get there, there's no happiness here, only thinking. Only we dream about being happy, that's all. Therefore Prabhupada called it ditches of so-called happiness and distress. Sometimes we fall in the happiness distress ditch, sometimes we fall in the suffering distress ditch. There's only ditches. Thus foolish persons live in this cycle of birth and death, always overburdened in discharging their so-called duties. Everybody is very anxious to discharge his duties. Just like I just coming yesterday from Secunderabad, so we also visited our Hyderabad temple. I was in Hyderabad in 1975. And Prabhupada did big pandal that time. We'd just gotten the land. A small temporary temple was there for Radha Madan Mohan. This, what is his name? G. Pullareddy, one famous fellow, was there in Andhra Pradesh, in Hyderabad. He donated some land. Very nice location. So we went there for pandal program. So every night there was pandal program. Prabhupada gave lecture. And after the lecture, he always asked for questions. So the persons would come up. And eventually, in the beginning, Prabhupada let them have the microphone. But especially South Indians, they love to listen to themselves speak. So they would always take half hour to ask their question. My dear Swamiji, I want to ask you a question because if you give the answer to this question, it will be for the benefit of all humanity at large because the answer to this question is very important. So I have a very important question to ask you because by knowing the answer to this question, we'll be relieved from all our problems and we'll understand the truth. So I want to ask this question to you, Swamiji, and this question is... Especially South Indians, they love to listen to themselves speak. So eventually Prabhupada said, just tell them to write it down. And then Chitananda would read the question out. So anyway, he finally got to his question. My dear Swamiji, I want to ask you this question, that we have to do the duty. Krishna says we have to do the duty. And before he could speak anymore, Prabhupada said, that is monkey's duty. He said, monkey's doing his duty also, but everybody is dissatisfied. Just like somehow in India, everybody likes to cut the verse in half. The Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that we have to do the duty. We have to do the duty. Just like we go to the school, they said duty is deity. They have big work is worship and duty is deity. If work is worship, then the ass is the most religious person. And duty is diri. The Prabhupada said, only duty is sarvaramam parichasya mam ekam saranam brajahang tvam sarva papijo mokshish. Mahaprabhu was preaching very powerfully. You give up all these so-called duties, this monkey duty, Prabhupada said. Because they forget, the first half they say you have to do duty, but the second half is that you have to give results to Krishna. This part they miss. They just want to work and do their duty. They think, and now, by our so-called material advancement, it's become so difficult just to maintain the family. If somebody can maintain his family, he thinks he's great success. People think, this is my duty, I have to maintain my family, I have to raise my children and get them married and do all these things, and then I'm success. So dog, cat also raising their family and getting them married and everything and like that is not a big deal. But now it has become so difficult. In olden days, you can probably, some of those who are older, they remember, people had 10, 12 children. That was not out of... Nowadays they're thinking, and they had nothing. Now everybody's got car, television, and mobile phone, and BlackBerry, and this and that. So many things. No, we can't have more than 1 or 2 children. How we support? And before, everybody was living very peacefully, having 10, 12 children. I also come from a family of 5 children. We live peacefully. Our Pujari in Brindakun, he has 8 children. He's living very peacefully, simply but very peacefully. But now it's become so complicated. We made life, we've chased after that Mrigatrisha so much, made our life so complicated. They were thinking, no, the government makes big advertisement. Our two, we two. Now they say, just one. But I'll tell you, I've been here in India. The first time I came in actually was 1974. 75 we went to Hyderabad because Ram Navami was temple opening of Krishna Balaram temple, so there was big space between Gaur Purnima. So we went to Puri, did Pandal program, then we went to Hyderabad, did Pandal program, then we came to Delhi, did Pandal program in Delhi, then we went to Vrindavan and opened the temple. So, but 1974, first time I came, and I'd living here for 30 years. In 1974, when I first came to India, nobody had car. Few very wealthy persons, they had car. What was that? Only 2 cars were there. This Padmini and Ambassador. And nobody had telephone. What to speak of cell phone? Even telephone was a very rare thing. And if you had telephone, it wasn't like nowadays. Everybody you're just walking down the street, and you hear something, you think somebody's talking to you, and you say, "Yes, sir." Oh, he's just in the middle of the street they're talking. If you had a telephone, it's not that you just picked up the telephone and talked. You young people don't remember this, but some of those who are older, they remember. You had to book the call. You would call up and book your call. Book your call means that the operator will wait till there's a certain time, and then she'll call you back and make the call. I was in Vrindavan and I was trying to call Delhi, only 160 kilometers or so. It took 3 days. And first thing operator said, and I couldn't understand her thick Indian British accent, "Ordinary, urgent or lightning?" I said, "Excuse me? Ordinary, urgent or lightning?" Did you understand? Young people don't know this because you don't know this time. Ordinary, urgent, or lightning? Urgent or lightning? Urgent means maybe after 2-3 days they'll make your call. Urgent means maybe after a few hours or so, maybe 12 hours you'll have to wait. And lightning means maybe an hour or so you'll have to wait. So what to speak of cell phone? Nobody even had phone. If they had phone, then it's still very difficult. And few people had black and white TV. And now everybody has got car and so many different types of cars. They were amazed because we used to come here, only we saw an Ambassador. Now you see Ambassador, it is amazing. You say, "Oh, Ambassador, we forgot about this car." Everybody has car, everybody has cell phone, Everybody has color TV, flat screen color TV. They have everything. Everybody has computer and iPod and Galaxy S4 and so many things. But I remember in 1974, nobody had anything, but I saw so many smiles. I saw so many smiles. Everybody in India was very jolly. Even we go in the village, everybody jolly in the city. Even remember Delhi, because all the planes, they always come in at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and 2 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes we'd be walking around looking for a guest house in the middle of Delhi in the wee hours of the morning. We had no fear. It was a safe place. Everybody was jolly and it was a safe place. But now everybody has everything, and we don't see the smiles anymore. Everybody's in big anxiety. Because this illusion of happiness and distress is just illusion. You get there, you think it'll make you happy. This so-called material advancement will not make you, it'll only make you more in anxiety. You see, everybody's got a cell phone. Every minute they have to be talking. They don't talk, they start shivering. Oh, I have to make a call. Or I have to look on the internet. I have to check my email. Everybody's completely in anxiety. We don't see the smiles anymore. 30 years I watched this happen. Though 40 years ago, first time in 1974, but I'm watching now for 30 years. Everybody has everything and they have no happiness. They have things, but no happiness. So that is this frightening example of this material world. And there's no shelter. This was our biggest problem. When we were growing up, we were thinking, we were trying to figure out what life was all about, and we were trying to enjoy so many things, but we were getting frustrated, and we couldn't see any way out. It wasn't until Prabhupada came and told us about chanting Hare Krishna and taking prasadam and serving Krishna that we found some shelter. Otherwise, there's no shelter. It's like being in the middle of the ocean. It's like they made this new movie, Life of Pi. He's in the middle of ocean, no shelter, no, he's just completely in anxiety. Somehow he's a little pious. He is always calling out to God, please help me, please help me, please help me. This is the only saving grace of this movie. In ocean, there's no shelter, no place to stay. So especially us, because we had no proper upbringing. I never even heard the word Krishna. What to speak of chant Hare Krishna? We never even knew anything. So there was no shelter for us at all. We saw our parents were frustrated. We were also trying to enjoy in a different way by drugs and sex life and then we were also frustrated. So we didn't see anywhere to go. It wasn't until Prabhupada came and gave us this Krishna consciousness, then we found shelter. Where is that shelter here? It said, what is it? Padokas. The shelter, Padapoka, shelter of your lotus feet. That is the only shelter in this world. It's a shelter underneath to serve Krishna's lotus feet. They're eternal. Nitayar Charana Satya. Don't think Lord Nityananda's feet, that is also something like in this world we tried to take shelter of so many things that we never got shelter. No. Nitayar Charana Satya. Actually, the feet of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, they're eternal. The feet of Radha Parthasarthi, they're eternal. They will give us shelter from this ocean of birth and death. Actually, in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it describes that those lotus feet of Krishna, it said all the Mahajans, all the great souls in the past, they have taken shelter of the boat of the lotus feet of Krishna, and they've crossed over this material existence. One verse is there. You remember from 10th canto? That all the great souls in the past, they have taken the boat of this lotus feet of Krishna and crossed over this ocean of troubles and miseries, material existence. So Jiva Goswami in his commentary, he explains, what about us? They took the boat to the other side and we're stuck here on this side. Now what will happen to us? In the old days, all the sages took the boat of the lotus feet of Krishna and crossed over. And has gone to the other side and we're stuck here on this side. Now what will happen to us? Jiva Goswami says, don't worry. That boat is so powerful that even if you just go close to that boat, immediately the whole ocean of material existence becomes just like a little puddle and you step across. So boat is still waiting on this side. Jiva Goswami is giving us this good news. Boat is still waiting here on this side for you. And he said, what is that boat? He said, Guru Parampara. That is the boat. If we take shelter of the Guru Parampara, Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarsiya Vida. If we take shelter of the lotus feet of a bona fide spiritual master coming in Guru Parampara, then as soon as we approach that boat, whole ocean of material, and you step across. And boat is still waiting for others. Don't think, oh, I'll go across and then what will happen? No. Others will also come. And this is our whole duty, to bring everybody to this boat of the lotus feet of Krishna so they can cross over this horrible existence that's been described in this verse. Very frightening, this verse. But Prabhupada said our problem is we're not afraid enough of Maya. Now I have my BlackBerry and my iPad and my this and my that and my so many things and my nice new house in such and such Nikunj. Now I'm happy. We're not afraid of enough of Maya. It's not so bad. We'll do Krishna consciousness later. So this is our difficulty. So this verse is meant to wake us up. That we're in a very precarious condition. Kamala dala jala jivana talamala. It's like we see the water on the lotus. It doesn't stick. It beads up like a little ball. And sometimes wind will come and the little ball is going bloop. So we don't know. We're living very nicely. We're thinking, oh, I have a nice house, this, that. We don't know when this life, bloop, life will leave this body anytime. We cannot say. So only shelter is to take shelter, especially of Lord Chaitanya in this age. He's given us because people have no interest in and no time. We try to just give people Krishna, I have no time. Please come to the temple, I have no time. Please give a donation for Jama, I have no money. And what did they bought everything. What was the slogan? Save time, save money. All the things we bought so many things, and the slogan was save time, save money. And now nobody has time nor money. They bought all these things, save time, save money, and nobody has time and nobody has money. So Lord Chaitanya has given this very simple process for us Kali Yuga Nivasis. We have no time and no money. It doesn't cost anything. You simply chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. And you will find shelter from all the miseries of this material existence. Hare Krishna. So